Thanks, Alex. Okay, so very simple class today. We're just doing the wrapped and the simple loops. Even if you don't want to make these earrings, the class is really great just to learn how to make your loops. These are the sample pair that I whipped up, and I quite like them. These have semi-precious stones and stainless steel, and we're going to use, I'm just going to switch cameras, and I will show you the stones that we're using today. So these are the stones that I'm using today. Trying to zoom out, there we go. So I picked a bunch of pink coral, even some pearls. These ones are actually pearls. And just made sure that I had 2 of everything that I was going to work with. Okay, so let's get started. The first step is I like to lay out my beads as to what I want. Now with this one, I'm going to attempt, oops, I think I need this up a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to attempt to wire it so that this, whoops, this guy hangs down in the center of the teardrop. So the way I'm going to do that, and I will do that one first, is I'm going to take a head pin. Okay, sometimes with real stones, you'll find that the hole isn't big enough for the head pin. So just try going through both sides, maybe give it a little tap. Feels like there's something blocking in the center of this one. Let's see, this one's a little thinner, so let me see if I can get it to go through. No, there's something blocking in the center of the bead. Darn it. Let me see if I have one more like it, because I kind of wanted that one. The joy of live video. Okay. No, not that size. Darn it. Okay, well, I will put those 2 away and I will see about maybe using a couple more pearls if they match. Come on. Yeah, they're just not quite matching. Sorry guys, I was all prepped and ready and then this happened. Oh, those 2 match nicely. Okay, so I have a matching set. That was all I was concerned about, that they matched well enough that they could be the highlight of the earrings. So again, head pin, and I have to find the hole, and these are pearls, and I'm just thinking they might not be drilled big enough. There's, oh, and again, it's just not going. I wasn't thinking about the pearls. Pearls are generally drilled smaller. Okay, let's start with another piece. We'll start with the bottom piece. Okay, this is the bottom piece that I want. And I want it because I like the way that it will hang. Darn, everything seems to be drilled badly here. Maybe I'll have to switch all of them because nothing is going straight through. Now it's stuck. All right, let me just give a shot here and see what I can use. And if not, I can switch to the green set, which I know will work. Let's try a different head pin just in case. It was pretty straight, so I can't see it being the head pin. I did catch it. Okay, so it is drilled the right way. I'm having 0 luck today, ladies, with the beads I chose. That goes that way. All right, we will start with this one. What you do for a simple loop, bend it over your nail so it comes straight across. Oops, sorry. Okay, straight across. And then we're going to take our round nose pliers and we're putting them about 1/8 of an inch in on our pliers, right up against the stone. Stone is straight down. And we're just going to take our thumb and roll this all the way around. Okay, so that's the wrap so far. We have it wrapped around. I want to put that attached to an eye pin because I want the next one up from it to be a dangle. So it's going to dangle down from this one. And I think I'm going to try this. There we go. So this one, and then this will hang. Oops, let me just slide it on here. Right on like that, and just dangle. It gives it a little bit more life when you use an eye pin and a head pin. That way it can move around a little bit more. If they were just both on the same pin, they would be still, and you wouldn't see any movement. All right, so I want to wrap this. Okay, so I'm going to hold it, the open loop, in my pliers like so, and just bring this around. And now it's a wrapped loop on the end of my eye pin. And I just need to trim that little bit off. So trim in as close as you can without cutting anything else. And if there's anything poking out, just poke it back in with your pliers. So just grab it with your pliers and squish it a little bit until you can't feel anything. There we go. All right, so now we have this piece. I think I'm going to attach this to a little bit of chain and have it at the very center part of my earring, dangling. All right, so I want to start my loop, so 1/8 of an inch in, roll it over and down, just like so. Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed the conversation there. Now, when I want to cut my chain, I put it on a piece of wire like so. Oops. I decide how long I want my chain first. And I want it about that long with this hanging from it. Okay, so I put it on here. And what I do is I measure down and I cut because I want two the same, right? One for each earring. The stainless steel chain is very tough. There we go. You can hear it. All right, so now I want to cut this piece of chain in half, which is very simple. I like to use a scrap piece of wire and just put it on there just so I can see exactly where my center is. With this, truly, if you get a link difference, it's not going to matter on your earrings, but you know, give it a shot, try and get it equal. If it's a bigger looped chain, bigger size links, then just count the links. That's the easiest way, I think. All right, so I'm just going to grab the bottom link here and snip. There. So now I have two pieces that are the same size, one for each earring. So I'm going to put one in that pile, and I'm going to use this one. So this piece that I already have, I have the one attached, wrapped loop there, and I have just an open loop here. I'm going to put the bottom link of my chain like so, and then we're going to close it just like we did before. So I'm going to hold it, oops, like so, and just wrap this around. And you only really need to do it once. Okay, and then that piece is going to be the center here. Actually, it might look nice hanging right from there. We'll figure it out as we go. That's the best part of designing. You change it as you go. All right, so I'm going to trim off my extra bit. Now I want to make the exact same one for the other earring. I don't want to do a whole earring and then go and make the other one. It's just easier, I find, to concentrate and do the same motion. So where's my little bit of chain? There it is. Okay. Oh, and if I want to attach this to the bottom here, I just use a jump ring because it's a closed loop and a closed ring. All right, so I have my strand here of wire. Just going to separate my beads again. So I have them in two different piles. I used this one and the flat round one, which I took from here apparently. All right, the flat round one is on a head pin. So I'm going to put it on the head pin, bend it over. And I'm just going to set it here for a moment while I get this one on the eye pin. Might as well do this step and then you can do it with your pliers once. So we take it 1/8 of an inch in, round it over and down. This one's going to be attached to our chain. So put the bottom link of your chain onto it. And then we take our flat nose pliers again. And I'm just going to get it in place. We hold it like so that everything is out of the way. And we just wrap our wire around. Okay. And trim it off. Okay, so there's the first part, and I'm just going to squish that little bit in because it's still sticking out a little. When you're squishing it, make sure you're not catching the top of your stone because you can chip it, and you don't want to do that. It's really easy to do if you're using crystals as well. All right, so on the bottom, I want to attach this one. So I'm going to take my pliers again, 1/8 of an inch in. And like I always say, mark your pliers. I can visualize it and I can actually feel a little ridge on most of my pliers where it's been wrapped around so many times. Okay. And we're going to put this on the eye pin of our previous one. Come on. There we go. And again, just hold this with your pliers. Like so. I keep saying like so. I feel like I'm repeating myself. And just wrap. Okay. Trim it off, and there's our first set for our earrings. Now, if you do not like shoulder dusters, just make them shorter. It's completely adaptable for you. Okay, so we have the two pieces that match. All right, we're on our way. I'm going to attach them for now onto my ring, my teardrop. And just open your jump ring, hold it like so, like this, and put your chain on. It's not the tiniest chain, but it's still pretty small. And close your jump ring. Always feel it to make sure it's closed well. Now, when you're making them for yourself, give it a little tap. Sort of hold it up and see how far down they come. And if it's good for you, it's good. If you're making them for others, you might want to make them a little bit shorter than this. Sorry, I just saw a piece of wire sticking out that I didn't crimp in very well. There we go. But whatever length you want. Now, I have them as teardrops. You could also have them like this. Okay, just whatever you want. Now, in order for them not to lay too close together, I went and I put about 3 jump rings closed on either side of each piece. Oops, I seem to have some different jump rings there. They look very silver, and there's a clasp as well. You know, my bags always get mixed up here. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to open this up and put it on here. And it doesn't matter at this point which side it goes on because you can move it around. So that's one. So I'm going to put 4 on. And this just helps to make them lay better, because if you put them too close together, like right beside each other, then there's no movement. They just cling to each other. And you can see with this one, they just sort of set a little bit further apart. If they were all together, it would just be a little jumble of stuff like this. So one more ring on here. Oh, 2, sorry. 2 more rings, and then I will get on to, oh, actually I can do both sides of it at once. So I'm going to put 8 rings on. And closing and opening jump rings. Dominant hand's the only one that moves, and it just goes until you click and then straighten it. So on this side I have 4. I'm going to put 4 on the other side. And you know, I'm using all silver tone components here, stainless steel and aluminum. You can use gold, you can use pink, you can use blue, whatever you would like for the jump rings. Okay. Two more, and then we'll get on to the next stage. So remember, we're designing this piece as we go. So if a stone doesn't work, if there's no hole in it, the hole isn't drilled properly, or it's too fine a hole, we just pick something else. We're working in the color palette, so it's not a big deal to switch it up. So I'm going to take 1 minute. Now you'll see I'm only really assembling one earring at a time, but I'm putting the components together at the same time. I don't need to show you how to do the second earring of putting it together. We will if we have time, but you guys know how to put together an earring. So I'm just going to check these and see if I can get my head pin through them. I can even find the little hole on these. These are really drilled small. Should have brought my magnifying glass out. I think I'll do that later today so I have it on hand. Yeah, they're too small. Okay, those work. I'm just gonna do 2 of those. One for each set. And I'm gonna check with, did I get that one out? No. These globy type, and I'll put those on an eye pin. So just choose what you want to be on an eye pin, choose what you want to be on a head pin. And we're just gonna keep going. This is the one I couldn't find the hole as well. Hope it's not through the center, no. It is, it's the same. Okay, do I really want these then? Why not? They're cute. All right, so I'm going to do the 2 of them on eye pins. Oops, dropping stuff. Okay. Don't know if I caught the eye pin that dropped. The pearls are not going to work because they're not drilled fine enough or thick enough. Let's try this on my eye pin. No, there is something in there. It's not coming through. I'm going to have to ream them after. I have those 2 and those 2. I'm going to have to grab my bin here and empty a bunch of just random stones out onto my bench. Just want to get the ones I can't use out of the way first. All right. Probably use a couple of these, so I'll grab out 4 of these. And so you get to see how the process works of choosing things, sort of trial and error. I buy mixed bunches of stones in certain color palettes sometimes, and you just have to see what's going to match and what's not. That's all. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those waiting. And I'm just going to dump this out. It says big and small, so I sort of have to sort as I go. But there's some beautiful pieces in these color palettes. I get these from Stones and Findings. They put together these lovely little bits and bobs of leftover beads that they have, and you get a really good deal for the quality of stone that you're buying. All right, so I have those 2. I'm still looking for something to put in the center of the 2 earrings. And they do have to match, so let me see if these ones are drilled okay. They're a different pair. Oh, I got one through. Let's see if I can get the other one. These are the ones I wanted in the first place. Perfect. Okay, so I got the 2 that I really wanted to hang from the center part here. And I think they'll look lovely hanging in the center there. Okay, so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to attach it onto the ear wire. So the ear wire will hold this piece and a wire wrapped loop, or a simple loop actually. Okay, so let's do the simple loop. We take our round nose pliers, bend your piece over like this, and get 90-degree angle, 1/8 of an inch in on your pliers, roll it over and down. Now, instead of wrapping, we're going to trim. And I like to trim it just to the side of top. So just like so. And it forms like a question mark. Okay. Now, right away, we take our round nose pliers, put them back in that same spot, and finish rolling down our ring so that it's a closed circle. Okay, let's get that zoomed in better. There we go. Okay, so now in order to get it on our ear wire, we need to open it. We don't want to pull it open. We want to open it like we would a jump ring. Just twist it to the side so it's open. And then we're going to assemble this a little bit early. I want to place that on here, and then I'm going to place this in front of it. So I'm just going to put this on my ear wire first. And you're closing it the same way you opened it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to close it again because I can open the ear wire. I have to anyways to put the teardrop through. Okay, so same process. You just rotate this a tiny bit. Why is it not opening? I have the right side. It's really tough. Okay, there we go. And I'm just going to straighten that out a little bit. All right, so I have my ear wire open, and I'm going to put on, now make sure you have your little jump rings on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. One back. Okay, so I want to put this on here. So I'm just going to have to bring it back to me. And this on here. go, and close it up. Now remember, I'm experimenting. I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to see together. Yes. Oh, that looks so cute. Okay, so it just fills in that teardrop. So you see, this is what the other one looks like. It gives it a really different look from the first pair. I may end up going back and putting something in the center of these ones. Okay, so let's get on to the rest of it. We have this for that ear, and we need a few more. See that and that. And I have some really beautiful garnet here, faceted, but I don't know if they'll go with this. So I'm gonna try 4 matching pieces. There we go. And that might be enough. Let me see if I can get a darker tone piece still. Don't want anything too big because you're already putting a lot on these earrings. You don't want it too heavy. Okay. I have 3 lovely pieces here, but I don't think any of them match. Oh, well, those 2 too. No, not enough. Okay, so let's get going with it. I'm going to have this one with the head pin or the eye pin. So the head pin falls down from it. There's the one on the head pin. So let's take the one on the head pin and we're going to do a simple wrapped loop. Sorry. I want to do wrap loops on these because they're going to take a little bit more wear than a lot of other things. But I showed you how to do the simple loop with just the loop. The trimmed loop is very simple. This one is a little more difficult, but I think you guys have got it now. The wrapped loop. So just slide it through the eye pin and then hold it on your loop that you formed. Oops, my fingers are in the way. Just like that. Okay. And then we take this one. Oops, I wasn't holding it tight enough, sorry. Oh, I have my thicker pliers, that's why. Okay, these are my thinner ones. They hold it better. And we just wrap it around. Now that's secure, and unless this eye pin opens, it's not going anywhere. So we're going to trim it off. Nice and tight in there. You can't even feel it. Okay, so there's our second dangle. And we're going to do a loop here. 1/8 of an inch in, roll it over. Now let's take a look at our earring that we have so far. Find your ear wire, that's the easiest way to grab it. So what I want to do is have something a little smaller hanging here. I'm just wondering if this will do. So when you're trying to design it, you can just pop them on like so. I don't know, that's kind of short for there. I think it needs a little bit of chain. So we'll do a tiny bit of chain. Just maybe 1/4 inch of chain. I'm not going to bother cutting both at once because this is small and we can easily count it. So I'm going to slip this through here. And then not my cutter. Grab my thin nose pliers. Hold it and wrap. Okay. Now this one went a little wonky, so I just want to hold it and pull it back a little bit. It was just bent over a little from being twisted.
Sorry, Lori, can you lower your hands a bit?
Oh, sorry. How about I also do this? I think my camera slipped. There, that's better. So I'm just going to trim off the bit here. And thanks. If I ever go out of screen, just let me know. I don't always look at the camera. Whoa. Okay, I cut the loop. I did. So let me fix that. I think it went somewhere in the kitchen. Don't tell my husband. All right. So I had to take the, I already have that wire wrapped. So I'm going to just take off the eye pin, open up the eye pin, and take this off. I don't want to cut it and redo it. Okay. There we go, it wouldn't come off. So now before I start, I have to open my eye pin, and the same as the earrings, you just hold it and open it. I'm going to slip that piece on there. Didn't really open it very much here. Let me see. Oh, I did grab it once. Yeah, it needs to be opened a little bit more. Sometimes when you open it, you think you've opened it far enough, but it's just still too close to the neck of the pin, and then it won't let you add anything. All right, so I'm going to slip that back on there. Come on, please. They spin when they're already looped, so you get it on and it starts to move around. Okay, and make sure that that is perfectly closed so that no fingernail, no wire can get through it. I'm just gonna squish it a tiny bit more. You still see it's open a tiny bit. Now I want to check it. Yeah, now there's nothing. Just gonna squish it back into place. And we're gonna add the one that we had on. Which one was it? This one? Yes. So drop this one on. And then we're going to wire wrap it with the chain. Oh, like so. All right, drop it over. Round those pliers again. Put 1/8 of an inch in. Round it. Find the chain I had. Here it is. Little piece of chain, maybe 4 links of this little chain. And run it up. And then we're going to hold it with our pliers and wrap this around here. Not very much. You don't have to do a whole neck like we did with the herringbone. Okay, so that one's ready to go on the earring. I'm just gonna pick up the right earring. Where is it? Here it is. It's not hanging properly. I may have to redo that thought of having it hang there because it keeps bunching. So we might have to fix that up a little bit. Maybe put a piece of chain to hold it down. Oh, there. Okay, just got out of sync. So I'm going to take a jump ring and open it up. Put the end of my chain on it. And you'll see I really just use like really tiny amount of chain here. And you can use scrap chain. You know, that's the beauty of doing the earrings. You can use all your scrap bits, leftover stones, bits of chain. Okay, and again, don't bother trying to do it at the bottom because you've got so much work there. Just grab it on the side. And close it, just a tiny little bit more. There we go. And that's what it looks like now. You see how placing those extra rings helps this to fall on its own rather than falling in the same spot as the other one. All right, next we're going to do a chain over here, but with a couple of things hanging from the chain. So I want to take one on a head pin, my larger one. Here we go again. Oh, put the pliers down and it might work better. Just checking the time. Okay, we should have enough time to finish both earrings. Once you've designed the one piece, it's much easier to do the second one because you know what you're going to do. Okay, this will not go through with my head pin again, but this one will. So let me drop this on. No. Okay, I left them all out, so let's see what I have here. Anything too big. That's good, and I know I have another one of that. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to make a loop, and then I'm going to join it to a piece of chain. This chain I want to be sort of in between the size. Okay, I am going to hang that differently because it keeps catching every time, and then you have to work it into place. So we'll put a jump ring or something there, not to worry. I'll do that after. So use a jump ring to hang your centerpiece if you're going to do it. Just add a jump ring to the ear wire. Otherwise it keeps catching and then you have to readjust it. Okay, so I want one to fall sort of, I think I'll start the chain here. It'll just be a little bit different than this side, but not as long as this one. So we're just gonna play. Let's grab my chain and I'm just gonna do a nice little chunk of it. And I will put a head pin or a piece of wire in it so I can cut two pieces. Wow, that stainless is really good. Okay, and I'm just going to cut it here. You have to make sure when you're cutting it that you're only cutting through one side of your wire or your chain, or else it's really too tough. All right, I'm going to put the rest of my chain over here because I'm not using any more. And you know what? Let's fix this piece here while we're waiting. Let's just do this. Just going to open my ear wire again. Remember, it's a tough ear wire. So I'm going to take this off. There we go. And I'm going to close it up. Yeah, good. Okay, so I want to take a chainmail chunk, a ring. Now our class on Thursday is that the dragon scale bracelet, I think. If you don't have your scales yet, I know that, yeah, that's not going to fit in there very well. It's too thick. Okay, well, it was a good idea. It's just not working. So I will try and figure out a way to finagle that in. Hyperlink's Bargain Basement is having a sale on scales this week sometime. I can't remember which day. It's a flash sale, so you basically, you have to be there and grab it as it's offered. But they're good sales. Okay, so I have my loop. Oh, that's the other one. I have my loop here. I'm going to add it to the bottom of my chain and close it. Okay. So I like to hold everything upside down while I'm working. Just my way of doing things. That way the chain falls where you want it. Hold it like this and just wrap around. Okay, and trim that little bit off. Now, if you're using sterling silver, you will want to keep all those little bits because it can add up to quite a bit of weight in silver. by the time you're finished in a year. All right, so there's the end of it, but I want something to hang along it. So I'm just going to grab a couple of small beads. Hopefully they fit. I know I had trouble with these with the green ones when I made the green pair. These are too small. So we're just going to peek through the pile here. See if I can find anything that will fit that I have two of. Or even if I don't have two of the exact same, who cares? It's the same tone, same basic beads. I'm going to see if maybe I'll mix it up a little bit more than normal. There we go. These ones are the same color. They're just, one is faceted and one isn't. So I'm going to use them. And what tone? So I'm not worrying about the shape or that the stones match on each earring at this point. I'm just making sure the tone matches. But I think I did manage to get them all the same. Yeah. So some are faceted, some aren't, but the same shape and tone. So that's it. That's all I'm worried about. Concerned about, not worried. Okay. So I still have those ones to use. All right, I'm going to add these two to this chain. So different spots on the chain. I want one about halfway through. So I need to do my first loop on my stone. Okay. And then I'm just going to hold this and go, okay, here. And you just sort of pick a spot. Oops, come on, past the stone. There we go. And then it's just wrapping again. Hold it here and wrap it around. Okay, trim it. And now I want to add one more stone to it, and they're just going to dangle like that on the one side. So I want one on that side. So I put my loop. And okay, so this is where eyesight comes in handy. This one is on this side of the chain. So I want this one to go on, I'm going to have to get it closer to me, on the other side of the chain. So they hang either side. Okay. And then wrap it. Simple loops are great for, you know, making a chain or something, but when it's an earring and it's bopping around, and they do take a little bit more wear than we would think for earrings, I like my wired loops, just so that everything stays exactly where I planned it. And especially if you're doing matching earrings, if you lose one piece, it can be a little bit of a pain. Okay, so I have the three of them hanging, and I'm going to add this with a jump ring to my ear wire, my earring frame. So I just open my jump ring, add the end of the chain, oops, wrong piece. That's for the other earring. All right, add the end of the chain to it. Come on, please. Now you can use 20 gauge jump rings if you need to at this stage, but this chain, the 18 gauge rings fit through just fine. Okay, pick up my earring, and I want it on the opposite side of that one. So I take it over here and pop that on. Make sure it's closed well. And that's the earring so far. I think I might just add in that pretty one that we already have wired. Just hang it maybe put one more jump ring here and hang it from there. So the jump rings come in handy because you can actually add an extra one to it, like so. I'm just going to pick one at random here. Grab it with this jump ring. So I have 2 jump rings. Add this piece that I already had wrapped. And close it. Now that is finished. There we go. So it's a simple thing. You're just adding bits of chain, bits of beads, well, stones in this case, just because I had beautiful stones to use. And they're so free flowing. Let me just pull this. That's how long they are. They don't quite dust my shoulder, but they're pretty close. Okay, so let's work on the second one. And I'm just gonna lay this right here so I can remember what I'm doing. All right, I have the one that I tried to use in the center. So let's wrap it and we'll just do a basic wire wrap on it. 1/8 of an inch in, all the way around. Now, because I'm not putting it on anything that needs to be attached right away, sorry, I can just wrap it. So I hold it and wrap that around. It's going on a jump ring, remember, so it didn't need to be attached before wrapped. Snip. And I'm going to put it on a jump ring and then it'll go on another jump ring. Oops, that's the wrong size. Okay. Open. Okay, and I'm just going to close this one. And we'll set it aside. I want to grab the one that I haven't put anything on yet. Oops, dropped a little piece of garnet. Hopefully I can find it after. And I'm going to start adding my components. So I did do quite a few of them as we went, so this won't take long. We're going to put on our jump rings. So this one, we're going to put the chain and link it on our ring. Whoops. I should just look at the camera. It's a bigger picture than my hands are. Okay, I think I may have to toss this ring because it might be out of sync. Just a little twisted. So let me try one more time. Oh, it did meet. Yep, it's good. Okay, so that's our first piece, the center, and then we put 4 rings on either side. We're going to put 1 ring here, and then we're going to add that other jump ring that we have our chain, our piece hanging from already. So 1, and then our second one picks up this other piece that we have. Now I do know that John Bead, or not John Bead, Bead Effects has frames like this that have a little loop in the center here at the top. And so you could easily hang a piece from there. That's what gave me the idea of hanging a piece from that center spot, was theirs, but it won't all fit properly on the ear wire. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going. I have 2 jump rings there. I need 2 more. And then we'll put 4 on the other side and our ear wire on so they're not moving back and forth the whole time. So the dragon scale bracelet on Thursday is the precursor to this necklace, but this necklace takes hours. I think this one took me about 4 hours to make. So it's not something we could do fully in a class, but if we were to do just a diamond in the center, we could probably get that in a real class together. So we'll try when it's time to do in-person classes again. Okay, so I'm going to open my ear wire slightly, just enough to slide this frame on. And then I want to close it again. Okay. Nothing will fit there. Perfect. And I'm going to add my 4 jump rings on the other side of my frame. A little warmer today than I was expecting. I haven't bothered to have my fan over here for a couple of weeks now because it's gotten cooler, so I don't have to worry about it. But today it might have been fun. Well, not fun, but more pleasant. That's 3. And 4. Okay, so I have the rings on either side of my ear wire. This earring, just grab it by the ear wire and it'll fall into place. Okay. Did I do them on the wrong side? Nope, I didn't, right? There we go. Okay, so now we have to match it up again. So we're working opposite. I'm just going to turn one. There we go. So I need this set for this side and this set for this side. So I'm going to do this one because it's the simplest. And this one I just cut a little tiny piece of chain. This is the chain for the other side. So I wasn't quite finished with my chain like I thought I was. Cutter, and again, it was only about 3 or 4 rings, chain links. So I'm not even going to measure. I'm just going to go in and snip. This is so tough. Oops, caught my nail in there too. There we go. Now those are my Xerons and they really do take a beating. There's not a nick in them from doing that stainless. And if you had a cheap pair, it would be really messed up already. Okay, so I have my little bit. And what am I putting on it? Let's go back. The little one has, let's see, these 2. So it's this one and this one. I already had them already here, right here. And the other one, I'll just get it arranged, has the same 2 of those. There's 1 and there's 2. All right, I end up with enough pieces for each earring. Okay, so I'm going to finish up. What time is it? Oh, we're just about done time-wise, guys. I'm going to finish this up. Anyone have any questions? And I will answer them while we're still here. And then I do have to run pretty quick afterwards. I have a doctor's appointment, so. My first one outside of the house. I've always done them on the phone for the past 6 months, so it's my first one that I have to go to. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm putting everything in the right order. I want 1 on an eye pin, head pin, eye pin. So I just started talking to myself as I go. That's the eye pin with the head pin under it. Oops. There we go, that one. And then the other side has head pin, head pin, head pin. Okay, I've got it figured out. All right, so I guess there's no questions today. You guys have been so quiet. Any questions about upcoming classes and workshops? Anything you'd like to see? Any stores, anything? I was looking at another store today, Banyan Silver. Now, they're a very pricey place, but I'm just switching cameras. And you need to have an account to shop there, wholesale account. But they have such pretty things. And I'm thinking they have the rondelles, the spacer rondelles in square. And I'm thinking they would be perfect for the goddess bracelet. But I have to spend $150 there to get the wholesale account thing. So we'll wait till later. I think I've spent enough money lately. Okay, Alex, back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Lori.
No
As I said,
problem.
no questions because you're teaching so well.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you to everybody for joining us today. I will follow up with the recording in a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your
Thanks,
day.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
And there it is.
Beautiful.
Okay, bye, guys. See you soon.